Hello everybody, Eaglefirefly Gaming here, and I hope you are all doing good. And tonight we're going to cover the start of the new Shadow War event series. See you in a mo. Hello everybody and welcome back to this next video. Okay, so the Shadow War update has been out for a little while now, and it has been a couple of days before I have gotten to these videos. I have waited a little bit because I wanted to learn the sites, see what sort of things we can do, and sort of get the best information I can for you guys. So I now have, I would say, about 50% of this information now. I have been running the sites with a composition. We'll get into that a little bit later on. I've decided, actually, what I normally do is do these videos basically as a one-size-fits-all kind of guide, where we run the site, we do the fit, I share the fit with you all in the comments below, and away you go. Now, we're not going to do that in these sets of videos. I'm actually going to make this into a series, because what I realised was that what is more beneficial for people or new players coming to the game is learning how to fit the ships themselves to combat all these different things. So I'm going to do my best to give you all of the tools that you need and that you can use to be able to make those decisions and sort of do these fits yourself and see a bit of trial and error. Some of it does come from, unfortunately, having a deep wallet for some of these sites. So you've got to kind of counterbalance off your risk against losses against the higher end sites, but you got to take with the rough with the smooth on that one. So we'll get started with an introduction to the event, the kind of things that are available, and we'll sort of show you the things that I have been doing and my kind of progress in the event so far. Alrighty then, so let's get the show on the road. So basically, the first thing to do, the event is huge. Okay, so let's move that out a bit close. The event is huge. There's plenty of stuff to do, and it's split across all 4 war zones. Now you'll notice that there's been some neutrality with the 4 factions, where they've decided that they are not going to do basically, they're not going to have fire on each other, and all the independent war zones have now got neutral status. So that's, for example, Amar against Galante, Caldari against Minmatar, so that all the war zones are now into 2 separate pieces. Alright, so to get into the event, you go into the agency window. I apologise if you can't see my mouse going around here. I don't know how to toggle that on and off. It's off at the moment, so I'll do my best with that one. Okay, so in the agency tab, we go. You presented with this new. Well, it's not new. We had it before, where you have the faction warfare campaigns. If it's not on your window, I think this might be auto scrolling. You can press this little arrow here, and you go backwards and forwards. And you can go to here, factional campaigns. Now, the first time, it's of course the Shipcaster Shadow War, we still like that. The first time I think you're presented with this, you get to choose which faction that you are basically working towards. Now, it does give you details in the sections of where all the different war zones that you can find. Now, Galante, bless them, have not got a very good start, and we know that these guys, the Amar, and it doesn't actually show you, but the Caldari, Minmatar and Amar are already ahead because we already have the Stellar Transmuter technology. So for the Amar, basically we have the Stellar Transmuter development, and I'm not sure which one the Caldari has. Oh, it's green here. So they've already got the Transport Relay development because they have some of the data available already. Is that right? Have I got that right? I could have that completely wrong. So we've got Stellar Transmuter development, which the Amar and Minmatar have already got, yes, so green. And then the Caldari have already got the Transport Relay development. Now, they've got the Transport Relay development, but we've not seen any shipcasters yet. So I'm not too sure how that's going to play out at the moment. I think it might be because basically you have to unlock this shipcaster construction and you need both technologies. So we'll see how that plays out. So this is the window that you are presented with. You have rewards that you can claim in the rewards bar below with some pretty cool and juicy skins. These boosters are awesome, by the way. They are, in addition, I'll just go into here. So if you look at these here, you've got hard shell, which is basically slot booster 11, and you've got application, which these boosters are slot 17 and various different slots. So you can actually use your pyro, your hard shell, and these state application boosters along with these imperial application boosters, one or the other. I think it's different style of first name before you depending on whichever war zone you're doing. So that's the interface. You click goals here and it gives you all the different goals. So obviously the Amar have already completed the Stellar Transmuter development, and we're currently working towards the transport relay development, and then we're going to build the thing. So you click this, and these are all the different objectives that you can complete to gain these rewards. Now it's quite a big event. I'm going to try and squeeze all of this information into one video without losing you. So I'm going to go through one video of going through the event, another video of how to fit the ship, another video of how we can do scanning, and all the various bits and bobs. I'm going to break it up into subsections of videos. It's too much to put into one video. So in here where it says tips, it tells you the constellations of where the sites are that you need to find. So the quickest way to find these is obviously in the overview over here, if you can see that. Couriers and data nodes, we'll go through what they are in a minute. And then it tells you all the different objectives you do to be able to get your PP points, your personal points, and so on. And it tells you at the top here what the 1% completion of rewards. Okay, so types of site. We have the research data node, which is up here, state research data node, waylaid state couriers, and I'll show you a little bit of a shortcut here. And the other one is called Besieged State Laboratory. That's if you're in Caldari space, okay? Kind of where the area I am, because I'm doing the Amarian campaign. Okay, so those are the three sites: waylaid state couriers and the Besieged Laboratory sites. Those sites are available in the combat area in the Neocom. So if you want to find them, if you're within one jump of your pipe, you can click this, and then you can see which sites are available if they're there, to save you keep warping around. But you can use the Neocom, or what is it called, the agency now, to be able to see which sites are where. You can get a bit of a hint of where things are because it says 1, 6 and 3 anomalies. They're the combat anomalies, so their sites, their definite sites, are already scanned down. So that's couriers, and that's the Besieged State Laboratories. Couriers, basically what they are, if we go back, I don't think there's much of a description of what they are, but basically the courier sites, there's no help button so I can't show you, these ones up here, they are for Tech 1 destroyers, so 3 courier wrecks, you can go in here. So Tech 1 faction, Tech 2 frigates, and Tech 1 and faction destroyers, up to and including Triglavian ships. So the destroyers, so the Kikimora will go in there, and all the faction destroyers. T2 frigates, so the Nurgle will go in there. Iticus is not. Iticus is a sort of hack, so that won't go in there. So Nurgle, the Nurgle is probably the optimal against the Kiki. Having said that, I have a composition that can solo it, but it doesn't. If you're coming up against some competition, it's going to get a bit rough, but we're okay with that. The next one is the Besieged, so the research lab. So in here you can have Tech 1 or faction battle cruisers, up to including the Drekivac and including the Gnosis. Tech 1 faction, Tech 2 cruisers, heavy assault cruisers, and so on. As a bit of a spoiler for the next video of what I'm running, so I'm currently running 2 hacks and a battle cruiser. The reasons for those are quite broad, and there's also some strategy involved with running those ships. Okay, it's not just a case of pew pew and let's go. So there is some strategy involved. Okay, so they're the two combat sites. The easier one, well, I say easier one, is the State Research Data Node. They have to be scanned down. Now, you can also find combat signatures. So if you go to combat signatures here, you can see here the signatures in the systems. You scan them down and then you warp to them. When you warp to them, they open up on the overview for everybody to see. Therefore, we better run. That's going to get really annoying really fast. God, that'd have been embarrassing, wouldn't it? They're going to try and scram as well. No, we're okay. I didn't even know they were in here. I've not seen them in here yet. All the time I've been in here. Okay, so you have to scan those down. When you scan them down, the data node appears. That's going to get really bad, actually, if I come up against those, because I have negative standings in this on this character, so we might lose some. Okay, so yeah, so it does that. You go into the site, you scan it down, and you basically warp in to a site that has cans. You have to hack the cans with a data analyzer. Once you've hacked the cans, then you get the loot and the good stuff. But there's also hostile ships in there that will web and scram and attack you. And then also you do get suspect flags when you go into all of these sites. It's a lot of information, I know. And then any other player that comes in is free to engage you. So that's the same for all of the sites, just the last point that I made. All of these sites, when you activate the acceleration gate, will give you a suspect flag. That means for 15 minutes you are engageable by any player in the game. Might have got this wrong, however, if they attack you and they are not suspect flagged, they will attack you, but they will get a sort of a combat aggression timer on their side, which means it's a limited engagement, but they will not go suspect. So watch out for people that hang around on the acceleration gates. Watch out for people that hang out on the gates. It's advisable that you basically do your site in the system that you are doing. When you've completed that site, if there is a structure, go and anchor up or go and dock and drop your loot off. Await your suspect timer. Once your suspect timer has gone, then it's free to go onto your next area. So I would allow 15 minutes plus travel time per plex. It doesn't really work out like that, so they can take a little bit longer when you go and finding them, and also if they're contesting them, you've got to decide whether you're going to engage or not. So the time frame is going to take a lot more than kind of 15 minutes per site. On average, I would say about half an hour. However, having said that, I have done between 9 and 12 sites. I've manufactured all the cores and dropped them off, and I've probably gained about 4 billion in ISK. So it's very lucrative on the higher end sites. You are going to lose ships, so you have to make sure that you have a contingency plan if you do run out of ISK. And Jita is pretty close by in this area, so it's not too bad. Okay, so I'm going to show you at the end in a minute a site that I ran at speed with some music that we normally do. Watch that video. You can see how I run the site. There's no commentary with that because I'm going to leave that for the next video, and then we'll go through how we theorycraft these ships and how we do the fundamental basics to be able to run these sites. It's very important that you have all of your basics covered to run these sites, or you're going to die and you are going to lose ISK fairly rapidly if you don't watch out and do the things that you are supposed to do. Okay, so one thing I am going to show you just before we head off, if you're still here, let's just do this. We'll go there. So I'm just going to show you some of the loot that is available. Okay, I'm going to split this video up into chapters so that we can see all the various different stuff that's going on. Okay, so as you can see, this is the Cerberus. Giving away my character name, that's absolutely fine. And we go to inventory, and I'm just going to show you in the hangar here. So as you can see here, bear in mind, this isn't all of the loot that's been scooped, okay, over the sites. You receive these blueprints here. Now these blueprints are what you need to build the data cores for the sites, okay? Let's do this. This is what you need to do the data cores for the sites. So in here, you need a PI module. It's not 1.3 at the moment, it's 3.5. Each individual site does drop these modules and these bits. It doesn't drop these, okay? It doesn't drop your pyrite and your noxium, so you're going to have to find that. It does, however, drop refinable loot, so if you refine the loot, you might be able to scoop it up without travelling to Jita. You're going to have to go to Jita anyway if you don't have your PI infrastructure for this. I have just finished setting up the PI infrastructure to be able to do these, and it takes a little bit of doing, okay? And it probably takes about a week to spool up. So I'm kind of relying on the fact that this is going to take longer than a week, this event, which I think it will, because you only do 1% in 4 days, but it's starting to speed up. Okay, so that's what you get there. In addition to that, all those bits, there's various loot that you can get. So there's lots of wrecks that you can loot if you have the time. You also get these covert research tools. Now these, I think they've been in previous, basically, and these been in previous events. Now what you have to do here is if you go to Eve Marketeer, there we go, do this, like that, and then we type in covert research. So this is one of the tools that you can use to be able to find your cheap PI and all that business. So the covert research tool, so I wondered basically where are they an NPC thing, because they're not really on contract or anything. So if you go in buyers tab here across the top, you can see then here that they're 500,000 ISK, and they're being bought at all of the pirate or Intarki corporations. So if you're brave, or if you have blue status at any of these locations, then you can get in your transport machine ship and go and take them to here and get the 100% guaranteed IS that you're going to get. Or you can sell them to in these places, but you're going to lose, if you've got lots of them, you are going to lose a bit of markup, but it's whether you're bothered about the markup or not. Okay, so that's one tool that you can use, Eve Marketeer. Credits go out to the person that designed this. It's a very good tool. I use this all the time. So if you're wondering where the cheapest recursives are, recursive computing module, you can see here now the price has really ramped up from, like, it was around 1.2 million and now it's up at 4 million. So if you can create these in your PI infrastructure, this is what's going to be one of the bottlenecks for building the data cores. You need one of these, and I estimated that there must be 100,000 cores that are needed, and there's one per build, and there's not 100,000 on the market. So if you want to make a bit of ISK, make these recursive modules, get them on the market, drive the prices down so that we can have some cheap cores. If you are in the infrastructure business yourself, industry business anyway, you will already have this infrastructure available already. So I recommend that you spin up your planets to make sure that you've got those going. Okay, so that's that. You get overseers modules from some of the from the battleship wreck. It drops an overseers module, and also these boosters here. You can see how many boosters I've got here. Some of these don't even have a value right now. Okay, 0 ISK. But I know by talking to somebody that some of these are worth big money at the moment. Whether they're going to be worth big money in the future, I don't know. But if you look at them, they don't expire till mid-June. So we know that the event's going to carry through predicted to carry through till June anyway. So there's plenty of time for those. So we've got 3 months. You got some PvP loot here, some drops as well. So that's that from PvP wins. Alright, so that is a basic overview of the event. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. It is like I say, a bit of a crash course thing. Get in there, get involved, have a poke around. If you're struggling, reach out to me on the comments. I'll point you in the right direction. I don't want to give everybody the final answer to this because I don't think I've got the final answer yet. I've seen various different makeups and I think it's what works for you and your pilot skills. Solo in this, absolutely doable in the Cerberus or in the, I don't think I've got the character window open. Possibly, let's have a look. Whoops. Yeah. It's definitely doable in the Sacrilege or in the Cerberus. So I'll give you a quick sneaky fit of the Sacrilege fit. Oh, there we go. Whoop, see it. So if you're good at your pause game, you'll be able to see that. So, like I say, I don't want to give everybody the final answer because I don't know if it's the right final answer yet. But we're going to cover the core fundamentals of EVE Online. Alright, so thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe and all that usual good stuff. I want to thank everybody for your support, for being here for such a long time. It's absolutely amazing and it always brings me back to creating this content. Alright, so I'll catch you soon. See you in a bit.